Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you started WW as a New Year's resolution, that means you're almost through your first month. I think this is the perfect time to talk about willpower. If that topic interests you, stay tuned, we're getting into it right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Manya and I have lost 26 pounds on the WW Purple Plan, and I want to help you be as successful as I have been. But today I want to talk about a topic that is general weight loss. It's good for purple, blue, green. It's good for any kind of weight loss, even if you're not on WW. Today, I want to talk about willpower. Because let's be honest, without it, you are not going to succeed in your weight loss journey. So today, we're going to break down my top 5 tips for being successful in your weight loss by exercising the willpower that you have inside of you. Before I begin to break down my top 5 tips, what I want to say to you is this: you have willpower. I'm a member of a lot of weight loss groups, and one of the things that I see people say all the time is, I don't have any willpower. I can't help myself. After dinner, I just go to the cupboard and I shove everything in my mouth. I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. I think that's bunk. I think all of us have the ability to exercise willpower. You just kind of have to know how to train your brain to do it. And that's what I want to talk about today. So, tip number 1, distract yourself. This one seems pretty obvious, but it really works. If you are having an issue with your willpower around eating, most likely you are eating when you are not hungry. If you're eating when you're hungry, then that's a different set of tips, right? That's a set of tips around not overeating, but it is not about willpower. If you are hungry, you should eat. But back to my number 1 tip, distract yourself. You want to eat something, you have to physically remove yourself from that food. Sometimes in my cupboard, there's that thing in there. For me, it's probably a box of delicious crackers, and it just calls to me. I think about it. I think about it again and again and again and over and over and over. But if I go outside, for example, and I go for a walk around the block, or if I tell myself, okay, I'm gonna work on X project for 20 minutes, and if I still want crackers after that, I will eat some, chances are I will have reevaluated my priorities and I will not eat those crackers. Give yourself a chance to think about the consequences by distracting yourself. Whatever it is that you love to do, do that thing. Tip number 2. Tip number 2 is about projection to the future. What I want you to try and do is think about how you will feel after you eat that food. We don't do that very often. We think about how much we want to eat that food, how delicious it will be, how much we love it, but what we don't think about are the effects of it. And most likely, if you are eating when you're not hungry and you're obsessed with a particular type of food, after you eat it, you will feel worse about yourself than before you ate it. Whether that manifests itself as guilt or shame, especially if you overeat the thing that you were obsessing about, you might feel physically ill because you're overly full. It may have an ingredient that you're not eating very often, and that will make you physically ill. I want you to try and think about that feeling. Imagine yourself feeling that feeling. A lot of the time, if I do that, I decide it's not worth it for me to eat whatever that piece of food is. Okay, tip number 3. Tip number 3 is an extreme tip. This is for when you really believe you're not going to be able to control yourself. I want you, especially if it's a plate of food, this doesn't work as well for a bag of chips or a box of crackers, but if you have a plate of food in front of you and you know that you have eaten to satisfaction, but you want to keep eating, and you know that if you keep eating, you will be sick afterwards, I want you to take your salt shaker and screw off the top and dump a bunch of salt on that food. Again, it's extremely wasteful because what you should do is box up those leftovers and eat them later. But there are times when you feel like you do not have the willpower to do that and you want to eat the whole burrito. For me, it's always a burrito, right? I eat half of it and it's so good and I want to eat the rest, and so I eat the whole burrito and then I'm uncomfortably full for the next several hours. And it's not a feeling that I like. And I know I don't like it, but I do it anyway. If you salt the crap out of the remaining food, you just simply can't eat it. You remove that option from your life. Tip number 4. This one's around peer pressure. This is a tough one. This is when you find yourself at a birthday party where someone's pushing a piece of cake on you. This is where you find yourself at some work-related event where everyone is pressuring you to eat. I want to say as an aside, I don't really understand why we pressure each other to eat and or drink. I don't drink alcohol. And when I first quit, for no particular reason other than it didn't make me feel good, people were pressuring me a lot to drink alcohol. And I ended up just getting a glass of sparkling water with a lime in it so that they would think I had an alcoholic drink. Years into that, I realized this is their problem and I couldn't care less if they judged me for not drinking, but it took a while for me to get there. So that's what I want you to do, my drink thing, but in food form. Take the piece of cake, use your fork and smash it up into bite-sized pieces, move it around the plate. You're just kind of tricking everyone into thinking you're eating it. This can be tough if your willpower feels weak and cake is something you really love. This one might not work for you, but if it's something you know, so I don't love cake, but I also don't want to eat it, but I also don't want to be the party pooper. So this is what I do. Take the cake, maybe have one bite just so everyone sees me eating that one bite. And then I just push it around the plate until I can throw it away. Carry it around, throw it away. It's a perfect plan. Okay, number 5, tip number 5 is all about you believing in yourself. This is gonna sound, I'm gonna say this, it's gonna sound simple. I know it's not. But I believe in you. You just have to tell yourself that you can resist. And you need to tell yourself that 4,228 times until you believe it. It takes a long time and it takes an incredible amount of willpower to change your life for the better. It's not something you can just do on a Tuesday and then not do on Wednesday. It becomes a part of every fiber of your being. And when you're over the hump of that, it's a really wonderful feeling, but you have to repeat it over and over. You have to be kind to yourself and speak nicely to yourself, but also hold yourself accountable. It doesn't matter if you're on WW or Nutrisystem or keto or whatever it is that you're doing, you have to do this. And you can. And then number 6, yes, I said number 6. I'm giving you a bonus tip. Number 6 tip is to think carefully around whether it's worth it that time to eat this food. I personally do not believe in cutting things out forever. If there's something that you love to eat and you try to cut it out for the rest of your life, in my experience, you're just itching for a binge in the future. I get a little obsessive if I can't eat something. So what I do is I eat those things occasionally. And since I'm on WW, I count those points. I plan for them, I count those points, I evaluate whether it's worth it. So before you indulge, ask yourself, is this the time that you want to do that? Is this the food that you want to do that with? And you can't do that 8 times a day, and you can't do that 7 days a week. You know that. So is this the time? If it is, eat a reasonable amount and put it in your tracker. If it isn't, don't eat it. You will eat again. I promise. You will. Probably in about 3 hours. You will eat again. You don't need to worry about that. We are surrounded by food, and yet we are so anxious about it. You have to take control, and you can. At the end of the day, that's what it is. It's about you and your belief in yourself. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you make it into February because I believe in you and I know that you can do it. This time, doesn't matter how many times you've tried and or failed in the past, you can do it. This is your year and we can do it together. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. I'd appreciate a like, especially a subscribe, so that I know that you're out there and you're listening, and let me know. Good luck to you. Bye.